I mean,
Before we get serious here, I gotta tell you, Joe, when I interviewed for the Proctor job,
Yeah.
it was on a Saturday. 16 people they had on the board.
oh,
And I walked in and I looked around, I'm going, what, nobody got anything to do on a Saturday? And I thought to myself, I should have said that. I got the job, but.
That's why we do this on Mondays.
wanna ruin your Saturday.
Yeah, right.
Or ours.
Lisa, do you wanna let us know when you're gonna set the timer? And let us know when we can begin?
Anybody mind if I take notes?
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
Timer set.
timer set,
15 minutes?
let the games begin.
Yes. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks.
Thank you for applying for this position. We're gonna be asking 4 questions of you. The same 4 questions every candidate will get, and we're going to go around the table, okay? So Danielle, you're first.
First question, what do you see as the board's role and responsibilities?
Well, the role of the board, I always believe, number one is you're evaluating the superintendent. That's I believe one of the roles of the board is. Reviewing budgets and financing, curriculum. Also, I think one of the roles is to review student achievement. I think that's very important for the board to see how our students are doing, because I think that could possibly reflect on the teachers or the educators of the school system. Also, the role of the board is to create policy or maintain policy set forth by Minnesota Board of Education. So I believe those are the main roles of the board.
Shelley?
All right. How would you handle requests if approached by an individual or special interest group?
Could you be specific?
Like in the supermarket or, in the public?
Well, first of all, your role as a board member, I think, too, is also a conduit. You're a conduit from the public to the superintendent. Take down the facts. Fortunately, I have been in that role before. And there was one time, I'll give you an example. I was out having dinner with my wife, and I was approached by a person who wasn't very happy with the decision that the council made on the tax levy. I sat there and I said, I listened, I said, could you call me on Monday? I am having dinner with my wife. And he goes, well, I'm gonna be out of town. I said, that's fine. So we sat, and he talked about the levy. So I explained to him what we do with the levy and the effect that it will have on their property tax. And it has nothing to do with their home valuation. And contrary to what a lot of people believe, they think that it has that effect. But the main role, I think, is to listen, to get all the facts, bring it either back to the board, or if it's quite a while in between board meetings, I would certainly bring it to the superintendent so that they could bring it on, or bring it up to the board. I'm a firm believer that if somebody contacts you, whether it be on phone or in person, you should probably get back to them within 24 hours, at least with maybe not a response, but at least say, I passed your information on to Superintendent Norman, or I passed it on to the board, and we'll review it at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, my question is, what is your vision for education in this community?
To keep it. That's my main goal, is to keep education in this community. I believe that one of the struggles that we are having is maintaining our workforce, so to speak, getting teachers to commit and to stay, Can you blame somebody for going somewhere else for the pastures are greener? No, you can't. But I think it's important that we as a school board make it as palatable to teachers to keep them to stay. Once we get them to stay and to buy into our system, I think we can maintain a good school, a healthy school, as far as student activity and student population go. I think we have plenty to offer here.
Okay. Cindy or Jackie?
29.
How can you work with current board members as a team, and how do you handle disagreements?
Well, working with current board members is a part of the team. It's healthy to have good conversation where people don't always agree. You're one vote, you're one of 6. I'll give you an example. Former Mayor Chugovich and I didn't see eye to eye on snow plowing at one point. And I was on the council at the time, and we talked. And we both went down to the city garage and asked what the procedure was. Why do you go here first? Why do you start on First Avenue versus starting up in Bethlehem Greens? So you're gonna have that conversation at all times. The main thing is to keep it civil, keep it factual, and it comes down to a board vote. If the vote tends to be 3-3, my job would be to try to persuade one board member to see my point of view. At all times, I shouldn't say at all times, but at times, you're all gonna have disagreements.
Yes, Mark, that's all we have
That's
for
it.
you.
I was waiting for Cindy, I was going, oh,
Well, the MSBA says we can ask 10 questions for each person.
absolutely.
We got 1, 2, 3, and these 2 ladies decided to share.
You can only ask 4 questions max, so.
Yeah.
Do I have time to ask a couple of questions?
Yes, you do. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What does the board expect from the task force that is being put together?
My thing is what we expect is recommendations.
Support.
Okay, support, what can you support? Majority or whatever. And then we expect recommendations, and this, again, will start tomorrow. So we're gonna listen.
And spreading it in the community, the positive vibes out there to get them to vote.
And I was hoping that you would say that the role of the task force is to help spread the information out.
That's true.
Okay. Is there any other collaboration planned at this time? I see the school between Hibbing and Chisholm, they're getting about $8.5 million split down the middle over 10 years. So roughly $400,000 a year over 10 years. And it is for collaboration. So where does that collaboration come?
Unless I'm wrong, I think it's kind of recognizing all the collaboration that we
That we're currently doing?
The business office
Yeah.
and
Perfect.
all of our sport, anything that we've done, I think we're parent sharing a couple different positions that have been very hard for us to staff. Indian educator,
Just
human
like him.
resources. So some of these positions that we either didn't have or we don't have enough work for a full-time person, we're looking at how can we better run our administration by, parent and sharing.
Okay, good. Excellent. Any conversations that the board has had, preliminary conversations on bonding or?
Well, a
Yeah,
lot of moving parts.
we have a lot of
Yeah,
conversation.
from it, I mean,
We've got a lot of people, helping us out, telling us, you know, but yeah, there is, obviously, when you're running a school district, there's a lot of talk about bonding.
Well, one of the things that, the reason I asked that is, I think you can leverage the IRRB money that they say is coming in. To leverage that for the bonding, and hopefully you can use that to help pay off whatever bond should pass. And I'm being positive thinking on should pass. You know, and there's also bonding, I believe that the school works with Honeywell in some aspects, and maybe Johnson Controls. You know, some of our current situations, dilapidations or failures in mechanicals and buildings. One thing that we did with the city is that Honeywell fronted the money. And that's how we put the new boiler in the field house, separated all the heating systems with City Hall in one, library in one, and police department in one. And then then it's easier to budget that money year to year. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very
We'll see you tomorrow night.
These are my wife's glasses.
She's looking everywhere for him right now.
Oh, I gotta get
Did you
strong.
lose yours or you
Well, I
just?
gotta get strong.
Oh. Geez, we just had a whole big, like, container, like, it's like this big and it's got my father-in-law's
The
glasses.
glass.
Glasses, there must be 30 pair in there, I don't even know.
It's like Doc Graham back in the old days.
Yeah.
A pair in every room.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, you too.
How do we do on time?
I don't know.
Well, not back, just because we didn't start till.
Lisa, do you wanna let them know that we're still in interviews?
Yeah.
Cause they're waiting for,
It's an open meeting, you can come in if
they
you
can, but yeah, just so they know.
Hey there.
Good afternoon, folks.
How are you?
Hiya.
Very good, thank you.
Good.
This is the chair.
That's
Yeah,
actually.
As I told the previous candidate, we forgot the spotlight.
Yeah. Hey, what the heck?
You let us know, we're gonna.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you for applying for this, Mr. Augustin, and what we're going to do is we're gonna ask 4 questions of you, and that'll be your interview. And each one of us will ask a question. So we'll start off with question 1 with Danielle.
What do you see as the board's role and responsibilities?
Well, our responsibility is to the community first. And then we should watch out for our children, plus the people that we have employed also. The big, you wanna hang on to them as long as you can. Like Mrs. Nahiwa, God, she's been around since first was a call. But then that's okay.
Okay. Shelley?
All right. How would you handle requests if approached by an individual or special interest group, like out in the public?
Well, if I don't know what's happening, I would have to come with the whole body and discuss this with you, and then I'd get back to you. I've always made a plan to do that when I was working for the city as a superintendent, that we get calls, and I always made sure that I always returned the call or went to their house and talked to them about what was going on. So.
Thank you.
I'm next. We've known each other many years. Anyhow, what is your vision for education in this community?
Well, I guess I would really like to see some of the classes be extended, like back when we were in school, which I know is very, very difficult to go back that way, but there's probably a possibility that parents share in that thing, I would think, like mechanics or woodworking or shop, that kind of thing. But I want to make sure that we maintain a high quality of education for our children, and that the community, and that the community is involved also, so they know that we are.
Okay. Cindy?
Hi, Audrey.
Hello.
How can you work with the current board members as a team, and how do you handle disagreements?
Well, I guess I've never won every argument I ever was in, but, or discussion for that matter. But I always made sure that I tried to have all my details together so I knew what I was talking about. I don't want to go in somewhere where it'd be blind and be blindsided. I've also been in conversations where I always had to deal with the city council. So the best thing that I could do is to show them what would be better if they had an idea, if my idea was better than theirs, show them how it is. You know, so they have an idea how we can proceed.
Okay. Do you have any
That's all
questions of us?
Yeah.
No, but I sure thank you for the interview. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you so much for
Good
coming.
luck in your deliberation.
Thank
I wish Mr. Casey luck too, so.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Are you gonna start the meeting now or?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
well.
Can I use the restroom before we start? the
Yes, you
meeting?
certainly may. There's certain things that can't wait. Okay, this.